Welcome to Elizabeth Queen, Heart of a Queen, a part of our Learn 3000 Oxford Words Through Story series. In today's episode, we bring you a moving and inspiring story about Queen Elizabeth II, a young princess who became one of the most respected leaders in modern history. Through her quiet strength, deep sense of duty, and lifelong service, she taught the world what it means to lead with heart. This story is designed for English learners, using clear narration and real-life vocabulary from the Oxford 3000 list. Words such as ally, almost, alone, along, alongside, aloud, alphabet, alphabetical, alphabetically, and already are highlighted and used in context to help you understand and remember naturally. What you'll get in this video: English listening and pronunciation practice, real historical context, vocabulary in action, emotional storytelling to improve comprehension. Don't miss this chance to learn English in a meaningful way. Like, subscribe and share if you enjoy the content. And join us in the next episode of Learn 3000 Oxford Words Through Story. Elizabeth the Brave, the story of a queen's heart. Once upon a time, in the grand halls of Buckingham Palace, lived a young princess named Elizabeth. She was not born a queen. She was born a girl with dreams, responsibilities, and a deep love for her country. But she had already begun to show signs of greatness long before the crown touched her head. Elizabeth was raised with discipline and kindness. Her father, King George VI, taught her the importance of duty. She wasn't allowed to be idle. She had to learn, read, speak aloud, and study her lessons every day. One of her earliest tasks was learning the alphabet, just like any other child. But she didn't just learn to read, she learned how to lead. As she grew, Elizabeth spent time walking along the palace gardens, often deep in thought. Her corgis walked alongside her, playful and loyal. While other children played outside freely, she practiced speeches and studied history. She was preparing, not to be a queen, but to be strong, wise, and ready. When World War II came, Elizabeth was just a teenager. The world was in chaos, yet she asked to help. At 18, she joined the Auxiliary Territorial Service. She trained as a mechanic, fixing army trucks. She stood alongside soldiers, worked alone in garages, and drove military vehicles. People said, "She's a princess." But Elizabeth replied, "I'm also a citizen." She became an ally to the people, not just their future queen. Her courage inspired many. One soldier said, "She doesn't act like royalty, she acts like one of us." That made people love her even more. In 1952, everything changed. Her father passed away, and Elizabeth became queen. She was only 25. The world watched. Could such a young woman rule a powerful nation? She stood in front of millions and took an oath. "I declare before you all that my whole life shall be devoted to your service." She said the words aloud, without fear, though her heart was breaking. She was almost overwhelmed, but she remembered her father's words. Duty first. Queen Elizabeth's reign was not easy. She ruled through wars, crises, family scandals, and changing times. She had to meet presidents, face criticism, and make decisions that shaped history. But through it all, she remained calm, kind, and steady. She traveled to every part of the Commonwealth. She met people from every walk of life. Whether she was with leaders or farmers, children or the elderly, she listened. She walked alongside them, not above them. She often spoke to the public, on radio, television, and in person. Her speeches were written with care, often starting with simple language anyone could understand. "We are not alone," she once said in a Christmas broadcast during a time of global struggle. "We have our families, our faith, and each other." Her words comforted millions. Queen Elizabeth was also a woman of routine. She had a love for order and simplicity. She would often arrange her schedule in alphabetical order, starting with appointments with ambassadors, then moving on to the bishop, and so on. One time, a royal assistant once joked, "If you ever forget the alphabet, Your Majesty, the entire palace will collapse." She smiled and replied, "That's why I never forget." She believed that small details mattered. She checked names alphabetically, remembered faces, and made everyone, from a prime minister to a palace guard, feel seen. Her sense of humor was quiet but sharp. At a public event, a child once asked her, "Are you the boss of the world?" She laughed aloud and said, "I'm just the boss of corgis." But inside, she carried a heavy heart. She lost her beloved husband, Prince Philip, after more than 70 years of marriage. At his funeral, due to the pandemic, she sat alone, a quiet symbol of leadership and sacrifice. That image of her, in black, seated far apart from others, moved millions around the world. People wrote letters. Children drew pictures. One note read, "You're not alone, Your Majesty. We are with you." And indeed, they were. People lined the streets on her birthday. They sang to her aloud, clapping and waving flags. "Long live the Queen!" they cried. And she, with her gentle wave and warm smile, gave thanks. Even at 90, she walked without help, smiled without force, and led without fear. She said, "I must be seen to be believed." So she appeared, again and again, at events, in rain or shine. She believed that her presence brought comfort. She had already broken records as the longest reigning monarch in British history. But more importantly, she had become a symbol of grace, consistency, and quiet strength. When Queen Elizabeth passed away, the world mourned. People gathered across continents. Bells rang, soldiers saluted, children laid flowers. Leaders said, "We have lost an ally, a guide, a light." In schools, teachers explained her legacy. Students arranged facts about her alphabetically, from A for ambition to Z for Zen-like calm. They spoke aloud, proud to say her name. Elizabeth, a queen, a mother, a friend, a woman who walked along history's path with courage. Her story remains, to inspire young hearts that even when you feel alone, you are almost there. Keep going. Do your duty. Speak your truth. And most importantly, walk alongside others, not ahead, not behind, but together. Because that is what Queen Elizabeth did.
If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and share so everyone can learn together. Thank you.